Hey everybody, welcome to Bearded Baker Banter. This is our sports podcast hosted by the Bearded Baker Brothers. www.beardedbakerbrothers.com.
How many W's there, Tom?
It's only three.
You might have had an extra W there.
Yeah, it was actually written in cursive, so I couldn't. No, I'm just kidding. Welcome Trent, welcome Trey.
Hey, what's up?
Hello, hello.
All right, so we're going to start off here again with our topics, also known as our boomers.
Boom, boom, boom.
Yep, that's right.
Ad free.
Because I want to start us off here with the boomers here, because I think I got one that we're gonna enjoy and probably talk about for a little bit here. But I've been craving a sport other than the MLB. I know we have some golf mixed in here and there, but I was thinking, I think it's like a little over 60 days till college football kicks off, right?
I think we're in the 50s, guys. I thought it was like 58.
Okay, well, even better.
Sure it's like 58. I'm just not too sure if my voice going to crack any higher.
Your voice? I thought Trey's voice. Trey goes, okay.
That's all right. No, but okay, so 50 some days, even better. But one of the topics I want to address is, what colleges produce the tops of their positions. So I know a lot of people debate this, and so the saying is, who is running back university, who is wide receiver university. So I want to address the three major positions: quarterback, running back, and wide out. I want to hear your guys' take on who is the top university that produces the best NFL products, I guess you would call them.
Trey, you could also extend that, though, into even D-line, linebackers, tight ends.
Tyler, I have them all here. I was thinking we'd hit the big ones to start and see how it goes.
First three, and then maybe save the other ones.
If we're hitting the most important ones, then we're starting with offensive line. Is that what you mean, Trey?
Oh.
No, let's start with quarterbacks.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Yeah.
I guess I was wrong.
So when I was looking up just like information to kind of support arguments here, looking into this stuff, I found a great resource in Sports Illustrated. Actually did a special on this, I think like 3 years ago now. Where but theirs only goes back for the last 10 years, but they rank each college based on a certain criteria. So I was kind of going off of that because they make a lot of good points and highlight a lot of people and stuff that I forgot about. But so I'll kind of touch on that. But I'd like to hear not just in the last 10 years, but overall. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Trent, you got anybody to start?
So we'll start with quarterbacks. Let's hear it, Trent.
Man, I'm like I should be going last. So I'm like literally sitting here rattling, big time quarterbacks.
Well, think out loud. Think out loud. Let's.
Well, first thing that's jumping out to me is for some reason is out west.
Yeah.
For some reason out west, whether it be because I'm just thinking like. And this is not where he went to college, but Tom Brady is a California kid. Aaron Rodgers, California kid. Drew Bledsoe, UCLA. Hold on, not Drew Bledsoe. Sorry.
Drew Brees.
Troy Aikman. Troy Aikman.
Also, the Broncos quarterback,
Elway.
John Elway was a Bronco or a California kid.
So you're kind of going more statewise then.
I'm like, something keeps drawing me to the west. And I don't know what it is, but what do you base it on? Like, are you basing it on who you think is the best ever? Because if that's the case, then you got to say Michigan.
Right.
No, I'm not. I wouldn't say who's producing the best now.
Why would you say Michigan?
Because of Tom Brady.
Tom Brady, Tyler.
Well,
jeez.
I'm just talking about who produces the most successful, consistent quarterbacks into the
NFL. I look at as of recently, you can make the argument for Oklahoma.
Bingo, that's the top one in the Sports Illustrated rankings.
Okay. You think recently, and that was Kyler Murray, that was Baker Mayfield. You could even make the argument for Jalen Hurts coming from Oklahoma.
Sam Bradford.
Yeah, there you go.
Wow, I forgot that guy's name.
Right, I know. But yeah, but I don't think you're wrong, Trent, in terms of like the West, because thinking about some other schools like maybe not the West, but like the Midwest. I'm thinking, maybe Auburn,
Stanford.
Yeah.
Auburn is Alabama. That's not West.
No, I know. I'm thinking like Midwest. I'm kind of working my way across the United
So
States
I have
here.
the one that stood out to me before I did research was not necessarily most successful, but just colleges I kept going back to. It's USC, Southern California.
Yeah.
You got Mark Sanchez, you got Matt Leinart. Granted, they didn't pan out,
Right.
but Carson Palmer,
Sam Darnold.
what's his name? Sam Darnold right now.
You could. I would probably say that Carson Palmer was probably the most successful.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'd agree with that.
And
or Mark Sanchez hit the butt fumble.
Dude, Mark Sanchez sucked, and I knew he was gonna suck in it. When they made the same argument for Sam Darnold coming out too, like, oh, Sam Darnold, I'm like, dude, this is Mark Sanchez 2.0. Like, he's gonna be terrible.
So he didn't he go to back to back AFC championships, or was it just one?
Who's that?
Mark Sanchez.
Yes, he did. He went to back.
Okay, so I wouldn't say he was a bust. That's pretty. It's not easy to do.
I'd say he's a bust.
Yeah, I mean, he was carried by that defense and Mr. Foot Finder himself, Rex Ryan. Easy, Trey, easy.
That's oh my gosh.
No, but I mean, what about
all jokes?
What about teams like you could make like a Texas argument. They had Vince Young that came out for a while. Some of the the Oregon quarterbacks, some Baylor quarterbacks. I mean, it's hard. It's hard to say.
Right now, we're not doing a good job of narrowing this down. But I
would say USC or Oklahoma. Yeah. That's who I would say.
Yeah, I'd say, and you're saying as of recently, like not of all time.
I would say of all time. Who else is there? Like,
yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's been a lot of quarterbacks. Just trying to think of like most successful, because if you're not basing it on successful quarterbacks in the NFL, like you're just saying who produces the most quarterbacks. I mean, as of recently, you could make the argument for Ohio State for sure. I don't think many of them pan out. You could make the argument for Alabama, and I don't think many of them pan out either. So
Alabama, I would consider them up there.
Yeah, but
I'm gonna hone in on a coach, Lincoln Riley.
Yeah.
I mean, I know his offensive style might not typically translate into the NFL, but I think we've made the point here now. And I think coming up, I mean, we got you've just rattled off the names. Baker Mayfield was a Lincoln Riley guy. Kyler Murray, Lincoln Riley guy. Jalen Hurts eventually was, but I'm not saying his most success, but I think he got drafted where he did because of his year with Lincoln Riley. Because statistically in Bama, I mean, heck, he got benched, right, guys? I mean,
right.
And now you probably got I know we talked about like next biggest prospect in the NBA last episode, but I think you got the next biggest prospect coming up at quarterback since Patrick Mahomes, and that's Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
So
who left Oklahoma?
So I'm gonna go wherever Lincoln Riley is. That's where I'm saying. So at this point, I think, and what's weird is it's both schools that we're saying, Oklahoma and USC. Although he has not produced any out of USC.
I'd say he's not responsible for any of those guys.
No, not yet. But,
yeah. I'd agree with those two.
Yeah.
Okay, so all right, so we consensus Oklahoma, USC around there.
Yeah.
Right.
California kids for some reason. Because Jared Goff's out there too, wasn't he?
That's what I was going to say. I got to throw this out there. California University. Mm-hmm. Jared Goff, Aaron Rodgers, Kyle Bowler.
Kyle.
And Steve Bartkowski, a former number 1 overall NFL draft pick, consensus All-American. So, got to consider them. I mean, they got one of the goats in Aaron.
Yeah.
But, and some other guys. But,
hey, guys, was John Elway Stanford?
John Elway?
Yeah, anybody know?
I don't know that off the top of my head.
Let me look.
Man, I'm sorry that we got to get our research team.
It was Stanford. You're right, Trent.
Oh, thank you, research team. Yeah. So I mean, then you got I mean, I'm looking at even this is why, for some reason, my mind went to the state of California. Now, granted, huge state, lots of universities, but you also got Andrew Luck. Andrew Luck was a major prospect coming out.
Yep.
Heck, he literally had to fill some of the biggest shoes. I mean, with the Indianapolis Colts and Peyton Manning. I mean, you see the quote from the offensive coordinator for the Colts. Did any of you guys see that this week?
I think I'd heard it. I forget what he said specifically.
Someone from the media went in when Peyton Manning was still quarterback there, and he's like, I think John Gruden asked him, he's like, hey, okay, I don't get this, but why are you not letting any of your backup quarterbacks get any team reps? And the coach's response was, because if we have to go to one of those two guys, we've already lost.
Yeah.
Meaning, not a knock on those guys, but I think it was more.
It was a very edited version of that quote.
I did, yes. I'm very conscientious of my language, and but it was just more of like the idea of, hey, like this guy is our team. I mean, he led some mediocre teams to number 1 seeds, number 2 seeds in the playoffs. Which, I mean, we saw the year they had his neck fusion year. Didn't they go like 0-16 or 1-16 or something like that?
Yeah.
That's how they got luck.
Right.
But,
yeah.
All right, let's go next position.
But real quick, I just want to make a note of this too. Is that we've said that's a Big 12 school and that's a Pac-12 school for quarterbacks.
Yep.
Okay, and the powerhouse in football and college football is the SEC.
Yep. I think the next position we're going to address is running back.
Okay.
All right. I think this is where the SEC will kind of.
No, I completely disagree with you. I have some research up already.
So you don't think Alabama, Georgia, or LSU?
I think they're good. Yes, I think they're good.
They have the best, the hands down. I think Alabama in itself takes the cake.
No.
You got Mark Ingram, Derrick Henry,
Nope.
Josh Jacobs.
Nope.
I mean, one-hit wonders, but Trent Richardson and Eddie Lacy.
You could throw
Kenyon Drake.
That's fine. You could throw, all right, Miami in there from the ACC. All right,
Okay.
Miami, and this is coming from some Bleacher Report stuff, but
I'm with
Clinton
you on this.
Portis, Willis McGahee, Lamar Miller, Duke
Frank
Johnson,
Gore.
Gus Edwards, Frank Gore. I was saving Frank Gore, Trent, because that's.
Did you said Clinton Portis?
Clinton Portis, yep. Okay, this is not post career. Okay, allegedly. Ohio State, you can make an argument for, in terms of running backs, in terms of successful guys. Carlos Hyde, Beanie Wells, Keith Byers, Zeke. You know what I mean? And then, like I said, I mean, I'd put Oklahoma up there with Peterson, DeMarco Murray, and some of those guys. But then, it's
what about LSU?
I'd put LSU. Yeah, I'm not disagreeing. That's like I said, I'm not disagreeing with you, but you could even make an argument for Texas. All right, who had Cedric Benson, Jamal Charles, Ricky Williams, Priest Holmes.
Wow.
Earl Campbell, another one.
Yeah.
And then I think even Pitt is decent for running backs in terms of successful guys with Shady McCoy, Curtis Martin, Tony Dorsett, Deion Lewis, and also James Conner. I mean, I think there's some solid running. That's a tough one because I think in this day and age with the NFL that you're starting to see the success of running backs fizzle out a lot sooner.
Yeah.
And it's a big topic of discussion. How much are they getting paid? Why are they not lasting that long? And I think it goes into systems. Well, it goes into systems though. Like, McAfee's show was talking about Shanahan's system where how many running backs do they have to play with every year, and they have pretty decent success because they just all right, next man up. All right, next man up. Now, Chris McCaffrey is a special person, but I think it's a system thing too. I think Trey, you even made the argument the other week about the Kansas City Chiefs with running backs.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't know. I think this is tough.
What about Wisconsin with Jonathan Taylor and who's the other big one from a couple of years ago? Oh man, I can't think of his name.
I know who you're
Then
talking about.
he came out with Todd Gurley, I think, around the same year.
Yeah. Hang on. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's tough. But my argument is I'm saying that it's gonna be tough to find.
Todd Gurley, you had Nick Chubb,
Melvin Gordon.
That's it. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then you also had Monty Ball from Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm. It's what else though, Trey, and I would say that recently successful running backs, just from like Derrick Henry alone, is Alabama puts out some beasts. Like they put out some guys that can just take a beating, and I think so does Georgia does.
Let's rattle them off. Mark Ingram, Trent Richardson, Eddie Lacy, Kenyon Drake, Derrick Henry, Josh
T.J.
Jacobs,
Sean Alexander.
Sean Alexander.
Yeah, Sean Alexander.
Wow.
Damian Harris, sorry, I'm not gonna say Bo Scarborough, but
Jahmyr Gibbs. You got Gibbs now. That's on the Lions.
Yeah. I'm going overall consensus for me right now. I mean, I think I have to go Alabama, but that's based on volume of backs. But if I'm going better quality of backs, I think I'm going Georgia over them, because I think Todd Gurley and Nick Chubb, at least in our modern times, for us who don't. Now, there's going to be some people, our older listeners, that probably could add some really good input on here for.
Can I throw some other Georgias out there? Herschel Walker, Garrison Hurst,
Oh,
Terrell
wow.
Davis, No Sean Moreno, DeAndre Swift, Sony Michel.
Let's say Sony Michel.
I think I'm going for quality over volume, then I'm going Georgia, but Bama for volume strictly.
Well, if I'm going quality, I'd even consider Texas up there too.
Yeah, I'd agree, Trey.
Yeah,
I'm saying Texas, Georgia, and Alabama.
I agree completely.
Those would probably be mine. Yeah.
Texas, Georgia, Alabama.
Yeah.
All right. Texas, Georgia, Alabama.
So that's what? That's 2 SEC schools and then a Big 12.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
That's
I mean, do you throw? I mean, because Bleacher Report had Miami ranked 1.
And that's the thing is, I'm like, now I'm also thinking that Miami's tough to pass.
Sports Illustrated has Alabama.
Really? That's funny because Alabama's not even a top 5 for them.
Wow.
They're an
That's stupid.
mention.
That's stupid.
Well, dude, I mean, it's one person's report. You know what I mean? It's like, I think it's interesting.
I'm going Georgia. Ready? I'm changing it. I'm going Georgia first overall. I'm going Miami number 2 overall.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Bama 3rd overall. Yep, that's my order. That's my order of top running back universities.
I go Alabama.
1 overall.
Yeah. And you know what really puts it over the edge for me? Sean Alexander.
Yeah.
He's a dark horse that a great running back back in the day.
He was phenomenal. You remember him?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
That was when I didn't hate Seattle as much.
Yeah. And then honestly, I'm gonna have to go with Texas.
Yeah.
I think Priest Holmes, Ricky Williams, and you got Earl Campbell. Like, think about that trio right there. Who else?
Jamal Charles.
Jamal Charles was. Oh my gosh.
Like, and Cedric Benson even like.
Yep.
I mean, Jamal Charles and Priest Holmes alone. I mean, both of them were studs for the Chiefs.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
But Earl Campbell's a legend.
So watch out for the rookie this year. He might put his name up on that list.
You're talking about Bijan Robinson?
Yeah.
Bijan?
Yeah.
I thought it was like the mustard. Dijon.
No, Bijan. Come on, man.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Robinson.
No, I agree, and that's why I remember we were even talking about where he was going to get drafted. It could be very important to that. Yeah, I don't know. That's interesting. So I think we're all around the same. I mean, I'd throw Miami in my top 4 with them. So I'm not going to rank them all, but I just kind of have them cluster. I think they're all pretty tops. I would put Pitt 5th.
Yeah, I agree. Pitt's up there too. So I think the next one's going to be the toughest, the wideout position.
Yeah.
Just because I really do. And so I'll give you the top team that Sports Illustrated has, and I disagree with them. Granted, this is 3 years old, so they're missing some of the newer wideouts in the league, but they have Clemson at number 1. For me, I think it's kind of easily between 2 schools, and I'm actually going to go ahead and say it's between 1 school. That's LSU.
LSU. Yep.
Yep.
Yep. What have you done for me lately? Kind of thing for sure. Now that's.
I mean,
what did Trey? What do you call that? The
recency bias.
Yeah, there it is. Had to get that in there.
Hey,
no, hold on. So,
what did you guys just say? I love that word. I love
so hold on. Not only, but seriously though, let's think about it. You got 2 arguably the best wideouts in the league, and Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase right now. But then think about it. You had Odell Beckham.
Yeah.
You have Jarvis Landry.
Yeah.
DJ Chark, who is not as big of a name, but still a contributor to NFL teams. Who else? That's pretty much the big main guys. But
and then,
the other,
you're not counting tight ends in this, right? This is just strictly.
No, just wideouts. But the other school that I would consider up there.
Can I say it? Miami.
Yep. No.
Okay. Go ahead.
Who did you say, Ty?
I said Miami.
Nope, not for me.
What
do I say?
Yeah, go ahead.
I say Ohio State.
Yeah, that's it. That's who Bleacher has number 1.
Okay.
Can I tell you Miami though? Real quick is you have Reggie Wayne, Santana Moss, you got Andre Johnson, you have Michael Irvin, you have.
That's insane.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard not to put them up there, and that's just a couple. I mean, they also had some stud tight ends when you look at it too, with Greg Olson, Jimmy Graham, Jeremy Shockey.
Well, we're not.
I know. I'm just saying, like, people forget about the success that Miami football had because they haven't really been way up in the mix in the playoffs in a long time. But there for years, man, they were top dogs. So, but I'm saying that's some pretty solid stud receivers coming out of there.
I'm super confused as to why we're not bringing Bama more into the discussion again.
Oh,
You got Amari Cooper.
We're taking recency bias into hand, Trent.
Okay, let's do recency bias. But you got Amari Cooper, right? Biletnikoff winner. You had Julio Jones, who had a long, good, solid career, right?
Until he left Atlanta.
I know he's not performing at the moment, but even Jerry Jeudy, I know this guy's coming off a suspension, but he's going to have a huge year for Jacksonville. Calvin Ridley, yeah. And then the one that we're even going to leave out right now is the first time we talked about in our lifetime, first time in my lifetime, to see a receiver win the Heisman with Devontae Smith. Mm-hmm. So I'm just like, and I know like right now you're saying, well, they're not studs overall yet, but like they're all like, I know Cooper's up there, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
But with some of them, with Devontae Smith and Jerry Jeudy and Calvin Ridley, do you know Calvin Ridley is still technically on his rookie contract?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I think what do you only play like a season or two?
Yeah, so it's like I'm just like I think Bama deserves to be in the discussion.
He had Calvin Ridley had one season as the number 1 that when Julio Jones was not there. And then the following year he got suspended.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even when Julio Jones was still there, I think Ridley kind of took it over.
Yeah,
I think
he did.
That's why Jones was on his way out. Plus, he was always hurt. But I'm gonna put a school out there, and I know there's not a ton of like once again not a volume of guys, but when you talk quality receivers here, and they're not going to be found on any such list. But ready for this one? Georgia Tech.
Give me some.
Calvin Johnson and Demaryius Thomas.
Okay.
Both Georgia Tech alum. So
where did what was that guy's name? It was like Kevin Blackman that came out. That was
Justin Blackman.
Justin Blackman.
Yeah.
Oklahoma State. That's another team.
That was another one. Yeah,
another team.
They had some stud wide receivers.
Don't forget Texas Tech with Michael Crabtree.
Yeah.
That might be the only guy from Texas Tech, but whatever.
He was a good wide receiver.
One-hit wonder from Trey. James Blackman was Oklahoma State, as you said, Blackman. But also James Blackman, I think it is.
I think it was Justin.
But anyway, he and Dez Bryant is from Oklahoma State. James Washington's from Oklahoma State. So you're right. I mean, those are some studs there.
You could also. I'm kind of going Trey's route. Mississippi Valley State had Jerry Rice.
Oh gosh,
just kidding.
Oh no,
man.
No, but yeah, so that's tough. It is tough too because when I think this is something, Trey, that in terms of like a booming topic to discuss, you almost have to look at like a recent and a past, like where's your color?
Yeah, exactly.
Almost like eras, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Because there are some some colleges and stuff that were able to get some studs out of there, and then there's also some kind of like Trent pointed out with Alabama, they're putting 2-3 out every year. It seems like.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
Do you guys?
I agree with LSU though too.
So I want to hear a final answer, college, for each of the positions, starting with you, Tyler.
All right. So quarterbacks. Who do we have it down to? USC and who else did we say?
It's just whatever you think.
No, I know, but who did? Because hold on.
Oklahoma.
I'll say USC. I'll say USC. And running backs. Running backs. Oh man. I think I'm gonna. I think running backs. I kind of want to go with Georgia. So I'll go USC, Georgia, and then wide receivers. Give me Miami.
Okay.
So that's mine.
You want to go ahead, Trent?
Yeah. I'm going Oklahoma for quarterbacks. However, Caleb Williams, once he becomes a Raider and leads them to the Super Bowl, I think I'll switch on that pick. I'm going to go for running back. I'm going to stick with my first overall ranking, which was Georgia. With a very close Miami. That's really tough. That's a toss-up for me. But and then I'm actually going to go I'm going Alabama for receivers.
Okay. It's funny. Trent is very recency biased, but that's fine.
Oh, gosh.
Mr. Anti-recency bias is...
No, remember he loves it so much?
I love
He loves it
bias.
so much. It's like his favorite thing.
No.
All right, Trey, who you got? Quarterback, running back, wide receiver.
I'm literally getting a T-shirt that says recency bias.
They should put like glasses on there too or something.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. Just sounded like it should be on there. Go ahead, Trey.
So for quarterbacks, I'm gonna go USC. Running backs, I'm gonna go Alabama. And wideouts, I'm gonna bank on the careers of Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson. I'm gonna go with LSU.
Yeah, that's fair. I like that. I will say this, Trey. you convinced me on the USC thing, and I think Trent, you pointed out a good thing that it is state of California produces some serious quarterbacks. I mean, I don't know. You could also make the argument too, though, that Pennsylvania puts out some decent quarterbacks. They had Montana, they had Marino, Kerry Collins. Like, I mean, there were some decent ones.
Yeah.
And I respect to Kerry Collins, not in the same category as Marino and Montana, but.
Oh, by the way, next week's special guest is. No, I'm just kidding.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah. That would be.
All right, no, Trey, I like that. That's good. That was good. I'll transition into. I got my topics won't be as debatable. It's kind of more discussion based, but the first one I wanted to kind of talk about is just, there's obviously some strong things in the news recently with the NFL in terms of contracts, in terms of negotiations and things. The one thing that stuck out as, a big story that I wanted to kind of look at a little bit is referees being full time in terms of what their jobs are, and what do you think the impact it has, on the game itself? Because I mean, I'll real quick, just kind of quickly go through just the head referees, all right, and tell you what they do for a living. You have Brad Allen, who's a nonprofit CEO, which
Tyler's over here doxing the NFL referees.
No, this is full blown. This is their jobs. Like, this is what they do.
No, I know. I'm just listening.
I won't even use names here. You have a guy that's a software quality assurance manager. You have a guy that's an attorney, a sales manager, a chief building official, a tax manager, an aerospace software engineer.
Wow.
A financial advisor, a sales representative, an insurance agent, a high school administrator and basketball coach, a sales manager, college professor, a finance guy, and another attorney, a public accountant, an athletic director. I mean, but then, if you look at some of these other jobs that even the guys on their team have, like there's teachers, there's police officers, there's insurance agents.
Gene Statutory ran essentially like a waste management company in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's a guy on here who's a middle school teacher.
Yeah. And Tyler, can you get to their personal cell phone numbers next?
Yeah, and what is their address?
No, I have a list. I'll give my source here. It's called footballzebras.com. But they put out this whole thing about, they had the whole article about the officiating crews, what their jobs are, where they went to school, and how many years experience, and it shows you like each person's team, what they do, and I just think it's interesting. Like, I don't know.
My question is, are there any full-time referees?
No, it's not an option right now.
Oh, wow.
Like, they might be retired, so maybe all they do is referee.
I guess they would only work a couple days a week if they're full-time, huh?
But that's what I'm saying. So how do you, if you're like the guy who's a middle school teacher, what do you just get off that day, or like, you know what I mean? I don't understand. I mean, it's something I think we hear a lot about how bad the officiating is sometimes in the NFL, which causes into question, like, okay, do they have something on the game? Are they, working with people, or they, what's the deal? But they're literally just, regular Joes out in the workforce working 9 to 5s. And then, on Sundays and, I guess occasional Monday or Thursday, we also referee football games. So what do you guys thought? Like, should there be full-time referees? Why not?
Yeah. Can I start?
Yeah.
Can I start?
Yeah, absolutely.
I do believe that every single head official should be a full-time position. Like, if you're wearing the white hat on Sundays, that should be a full-time position. You should not be working another job. Well, what about the days of the week? What are they going to do? They have the most responsibility. They're in charge of the crew, in my opinion. I don't know. Maybe I'm not.
But Trent, couldn't you say that it should be all people on the crew, because they have to watch film on the teams?
Hold on. I'm not done. I'm just saying their responsibility should strictly be reffing the games on game days, and then they should be breaking down other crews' film and literally analyzing all officiating staff. That should be their only job.
That's fair enough.
What I'm gonna say, because there's so many officials that go into it, right? Into a game, you got lines, you got umpire, you got you got so many officials part of a crew.
Mm-hmm.
Those other officials, in my opinion, where they could say, well, how can we validate paying you a full-time salary and giving you full-time benefits, is why doesn't each team have their own crew at each practice? Or and maybe it's a rotating thing. Maybe it's a week by week where, hey, I know that's demanding, but you're going to have an off season.
Right.
You know, it's demanding on their families because they can't go somewhere and stay. But my thought is continue to provide teams live officiating in practice within it could be the line in an inside drill. It could be at the line at the 101s. It could be the guys that are working the calls on the outside parts of the game, watching the wide receivers, safeties, and cornerbacks. So it's like, I think you could turn it into a full-time job, and I agree with you. I think it should, because there's no doubt that there are people at these guys' other workplaces that might have a little something to say in their buddy's ear.
Yeah. Hey, what game do you have this weekend?
Yeah, and here's my thing is with what we talked about with gambling last week.
Yeah.
They better, I hope these gambling companies are also snitching on any sort of official that could be doing it as well.
Wouldn't that be something?
Because if they're placing any bets at all, I'm sorry, this would be tough, but I would give it up. If you tell me I'm a full-time official and I'm making good money, I get to work in the game of football for a living. For sure. I'll say, yep, I'll see it. Buy DraftKings, buy FanDuel, buy books. I will do that for a long time. So
it's not like the NFL doesn't have the money to spend either. You know what I mean?
So that's absolutely. I mean, they're paying Roger Goodell how much money to pretty much sit in meetings and I'll hold my comments in case I say something inappropriate. But that's my solution to it. Is I think the white hats, the head officials, they should be in-house, in NFL headquarters, wherever they are, doing an analysis of every single game, every single play, almost like a head coach, breaking down film.
Right.
And I think the other officials, the other crew members, should be providing officiating at team facilities. That's my thought.
I think that's
how you can validate that.
That's a good solution, and I think it's also a good solution to make it a full-time job. And Trey, before I get your take on it too, one other thing I wanted to point out, of all the crews, all right, between, this is top down, all right, and there is only, there are a total, I don't have that number, sorry, but no, out of all the different crews, there are only 3 officials, all right, now they're not the head referees, there were former NFL players. Which I kind of think is interesting, too, in the sense of guys that played the game, know a little bit about the game, but only 3 people are former NFL players. So I think that's kind of interesting, too, in terms of numbers.
That is interesting.
Trey, thoughts on referees full-time?
Yeah, I mean, I like Trent's idea a lot, so I'll just kind of echo that. I think that all the head officials, it definitely should be a full-time job. I'm not sure how this would work, but I like having maybe just the head officials have their own crew, where they all report to the same guy every week. To maybe add what they do that.
Each official has his own crew.
Every week, same guys.
Every week, it's their crew.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then I would like the head guys being full time. Yeah, I agree with Trent. I think they should be a full time job. I also think just to kind of add on maybe one extra thing is the positions that aren't the head referee, right?
Right.
Trent said you said there's line refs, there,
judge, field judge, umpires.
So I think that there should be at least one person from each of those sub positions that's the head of that. You know what I mean? And they have to report to them or hone their skills throughout the season or anything like that. You know what I mean?
Or maybe even make it a take turn kind of thing where, hey, you're with this team, you're with this, that way. I don't know. I do like Trent's idea about having guys go to practices. I think, Trent, you bring up a very valid solution to make it a full-time gig. So,
yeah, I have a question.
That's what I like about what some of our high school officials do for us is they're very, very open and willing to try and get to any sort of practice or any sort of inner squad, how am I saying, 7-on-7 type work. That's what I give credit to high school officials is they're constantly trying to get better at their craft. I mean, because that's tough. That's tough because some of those guys, especially with shortages. So that's why I'd like to see NFL, the best of the best, continue to do it because they're humans and there's going to be errors. So give them a chance to do it year round as much as they can.
Yeah. Trey, you had a question you said?
Yeah. So Trent, you say you'd like them to practice at like local facilities, right, in the NFL if they can. They wouldn't be.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
They wouldn't be like refereeing those teams' games every week, then, right? You know what I mean?
No. So that's why that's what I kind of had to amend what I stated there because you're right. Like if they're doing their like
that would just be so that would be very
create bias, right?
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
So that's why I said I think it should be rotated.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Because that way they can't get extremely close to players.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was worried about.
Well, you could even make it like a divisional thing, like in the NFC.
But even then, gets iffy.
Yeah.
Because what happens if they're playing an out of division opponent and you're refereeing that game?
I mean, look, like Trent brought up the high school referees. I mean, you see that sometimes when you go other places.
And I don't like that. I think that's a flawed thing.
No, I agree.
Can I state something? Is like typically like if it's like let's say a Rose Bowl game, Big Ten versus Pac-12, you're going to get an SEC officiating crew.
Yeah.
Like college,
I get
college has conference officials.
Mm-hmm.
That's for sure. So I don't know. I mean, and listen, there's definitely kinks to be worked out, but there's also a way to make sure that those officials don't officiate somebody's game too.
Yeah.
But they would have to be on a rotation tray. They can't stay in the same. They can't stay in the same place. But once again, the NFL has so much strong money. There's no reason that they can't house them.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. And fly them around. You know, get them going places. Like
absolutely,
for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, so we'll kind of change gears. I mean, that's like I said. I think you guys provide great solutions with this, which would be kind of nice if actually some people listen. So, you know, like the right people listen. You know, to hear this because I think it's a great solution here. You know.
I'll shoot a message to Raj. I'll shoot it one day.
Yeah. As long as we never have to go through a season with those replacement referees again.
Yeah. No, the thing was
the fail Mary haunts me, man.
I mean, hey, we joke about it, but like at the same time, even McAfee's show the other day was talking about, man, if anybody has a solution to this, you know, it'd be great. And I think you guys provide a great solution. So I mean, I think that's awesome. But that kind of takes me into my second topic here, just to kind of quickly discuss, because I know we really we hit on it hard a couple weeks ago, but I know it's back in the news as of today. Is the gambling aspect of things with the NFL guys being suspended full games. I know the stuff came out about the Colts guy today who literally bet on it was said an over-under on his running back to get a certain amount of yards in the game. Now it hasn't come out in terms of which way he bet on him, you know, which I don't know. That's just kind of. That's when you get into some dicey things. You know, if he's betting, he has inside information. Is the guy hurt? Is he not hurt? Is he taking the majority of the carries because he knows the game plan for the week? But so I don't want to necessarily get into all that stuff because, you know, we touched on it a while ago. My question is, how do you think sports gambling is going to start to possibly impact collegiate sports?
I mean,
in terms of the players making bets, because now you're getting into bigger spectrum here.
I think it already does. There's teams that have gotten in trouble with it already. I mean, heck, this year, what was it? It was a college baseball team.
Alabama's baseball, yeah.
Yeah, Alabama's baseball team, which is an SEC school. There was a basketball team that I believe there was like a 30 for 30 on.
Boston College that also they were involved in a gambling scheme. So I think it already does, to be honest with you. But I'm sorry, what are you going to do? Like
that's what I'm saying. What is there a solution to it?
No, because it's either you're going to have illegal books. You're either going to have illegal books, or what you're going to do is what states did do is they kind of got with the times and realized, wow, this could bring in some serious revenue to our state. So let's legalize it and make sure that we have our hands on it. And you know what? It's going to be for these universities to figure out how to police it.
Okay, so here's kind of a. Sorry, go ahead. I'll let you talk first. Go ahead.
I agree with Trent. There's kind of no way you can ultimately police it 100% because one, there's legal sports books, but there still are underground black market sports books that
right.
you don't have to put on your taxes. You don't have to claim. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
So ultimately, you're never going to eliminate it completely. But I mean, let's think about it. These sports books, what do they rely on to operate? What's the number one thing? It's the location, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So what I'm saying is, if you're getting, there's so much technology nowadays where you can filter out data, whatever, and collect it. If there's an outlier bet on an account, you know what I mean? Like I feel like they can research that, they can look into it, they can look into the account and see, is this person in any way associated with any athletes on this team?
Right.
Why are they making this bet worth this much money all of a sudden on the school that they're attending, vice versa? So, I mean, I feel like with the technology nowadays, I'm sure there's people that can look into that instantaneously if they find either an outlier or something that triggers a system to flags a bet. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Now, I agree. I'm just saying, collegiate-wise, though, it's such a big world.
Yeah.
But I mean, and you can bet on almost every college sport known to man.
But Tyler, these are multi-billion. Well, I don't know about billion, but multi-million-dollar companies. Like, you can't tell me they don't have the technology that can rapidly narrow down, can rapidly identify bets that don't fit a theme.
Well,
do you know what I mean?
I think it kind of goes back to the fact of. Go ahead, Trent.
I bet a couple of trees over unders early in the season got flagged as what the heck are they thinking?
Nah, shut up.
I'm kidding. Under 7. What?
No, but I think it is interesting because you look at some of it does kind of go back to the NCAA where how many people follow all the NCAA guidelines of recruiting. Or, follow the NCAA guidelines. Like, think about back in the day, like, with, say, a guy like Terrell Pryor, right? Got tattoos bought for him, got things bought for him, got caught. But how many smaller schools were doing things like that, too? He went to a big school, got caught, right? So it kind of goes back in. That's what I'm saying is, like...
Reggie Bush.
Well, yeah, but that's what I mean. Like, you're looking, like, how do you go all the way down into, like, your division, 1 AA, like your smaller athletics is.
I don't think you
world.
do. I don't think you do because that's like, I mean, Terrell Pryor was getting cars, apartments, his expenses paid for.
And now that can happen though.
But Tyler, what I'm saying is, I don't think D1 AA schools, their football teams, their sporting teams, didn't make that much revenue where it would make sense for them to do that to somebody
to investigate. But so they can just. Do things.
Well, no, I'm saying they wouldn't be getting the value of services or goods that Terrell Pryor is getting at Ohio State that they would at Fordham University.
So then,
you know what I mean?
So then, here's my next question. Then, do you think that maybe the NCAA opening up NIL was a way to almost counteract the possibility of legal gambling? Because now athletes can possibly make decent money to a point where they'd be like, well, all right, gambling's illegal. Maybe I'm not going to risk this because I'm already going to be making this. And if I get kicked out because of this, I'm not going to be making 6 figures or whatever I can.
I think that's an afterthought. I don't think that's one of the deciding NIL decisions. I don't.
It's just a thought. Like I said, I just bring it up as a thought.
I think bigger scandals regarding that, though, like Johnny Manziel scandal. I think that kind of stuff is what pushed NIL through. Is this guy is making Texas A&M and college football in general millions and millions and millions of dollars off of his name, off of his advertisements, like selling his games. I think it just got to a point where you can't deny how preposterous it was that these guys weren't making money. So that's what I think was the deciding factor with NIL. I don't think legal like eliminating the illegal sports gambling was a decision at all.
All right, that's fair. Could it though? Could it have a reaction of though?
Well, I think but like I said, I think that was an afterthought. You know what I mean? I think it's more about like the NCAA getting exposed with how much money they're making off of these kids that are making $0.
Kids.
Yeah.
They're amateurs. I mean, I guess, are they amateurs anymore? I guess they're not.
Not if they're making money.
Yeah, but I mean, Tyler, you think back. I mean, you and I both played college football. I mean, even to the point of like when you sit in those meetings of do's and don'ts. Now it's completely changed, obviously.
Right.
I mean, they'd have you sweating bullets of saying, "Oh crap!" Like, one of my teammates on an official visit did give me a sandwich, or
right. Right.
like things like that. And you're like, "Oh, I think I violated NCAA rules," or heck, technically as a college athlete, you're not allowed to do an NCAA March Madness bracket,
right,
for money. So.
That's what I mean. Like,
can I just say what the NFL's doing right now is they're kind of like being the out front poster boy right now by sending these big punishments and suspensions for a full season and indefinite suspensions, which, by the way, both those Colts players were cut today and released.
I saw that.
In case you didn't see it. But I think they're
one guy only got
message.
6 games though too.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is they're getting suspended for betting on things that are not in their sport.
Well, that's why the guy got 6 games, because he made bets in facilities, but wasn't on his sport.
Yeah, so I think they're trying to send a message, and I think they're trying to be out in front to send the message to even other leagues, because I find it very hard to believe that we're not seeing NBA or baseball players stories yet. I should say yet.
Especially NBA.
I mean, it's just a very tough thing that these sports leagues kind of brought upon themselves. I mean, look at the Wrigley Field DraftKings sportsbook that just opened up. I mean,
remember we talked about that though.
Yeah, I mean, I literally would like that right there in itself is they're making money off of these sports books. So it's like, you're not going to be able to prevent it. It's just as simple as that. Yeah. But you're going to have to do your best to monitor it, and hopefully that doesn't take away. But then again, I mean, how many years now have we said that gambling definitely can at points impact games and outcomes and calls in certain games at certain times. So yeah,
sure as hell looks like it. I'm just kidding.
Some sports, yeah.
But what I wanted to say is or both of you guys, I think you're right that the NFL is trying to get out in front of it, set examples, especially when it comes to people betting on their own teams or on their own sport, because that does cross a line in my eyes. But I also think that the NFL has a greater challenge at dealing with that than other sports do. You got 53-man rosters of players that do not make nearly the same amount of money uniformly from top to bottom of the roster, right? You have some guys making rookie minimums at what's that set at nowadays? I don't know, but it's not necessarily a couple $100,000. Yeah. Okay, well then it's more than what I thought.
Yeah, I think it's a minimum of 500,000.
Oh, really? For the NFL?
For a rookie contract.
To be on a 53-man roster.
For a 53-man roster, I mean, it'd be very rare if you're making, I would honestly say less than 700,000.
Yeah.
Okay. So what about practice squad guys?
Practice squad is anywhere from about 250,000 to, depending on what you are. Like if you're a practice squad quarterback that could potentially have to dress,
probably make more.
Then you're making probably more towards 500,000. But
then that's
tricky thing with practice squad is if you're on a practice squad, you are technically a free agent. So anybody can sign you if they want. But yeah, if you're, and that's why we're saying about like these referees that are reffing these big time games not being full time. Like that's nuts to me that they don't have the money to pay them a full time salary. I don't really understand it. But.
Yeah. So what I was going to say though is that the NFL has larger volume of players to kind of keep an eye on that with, whereas the NBA, they're like 13-man like rosters and they're all making a good amount of money. I would think.
Yeah.
So they don't care about betting on sports, right? I think baseball would be an issue with the minor leagues, with everything like that. I feel like those guys don't make nearly enough money. I would imagine that they
also
like to bet.
don't have a salary cap, so they can pay them ridiculous amount of money. So
yeah, I agree. But
let's move to our last couple of topics here. Trent, you had some topics here you want to talk about, and then we'll get into our baseball stuff.
I'll rattle off some quick boomers. I will just kind of state a couple things. If you want to add anything in, feel free. The very first thing that I'm going to say, because I'm kind of like our NBA liaison, if you guys would say.
I give you that.
I mean, Trey follows it too.
Yeah,
I think a little bit. I know
you guys
Tyler,
follow a lot more than I do.
Yeah, but the NBA is no longer a league for the big man, the classic big man in basketball. With the NBA draft happening last week, I know you guys weren't very excited about it. I enjoy it because I follow college basketball like through and through, and you guys do too. I shouldn't say that. For that
I follow college, and once college is done, though, I'm like, eh.
I mean, I live and breathe college basketball.
I love to see where these guys go because, like, you watch them for so many times throughout over the years, especially if they're a 4, 5, 6. Hell, nowadays the COVID year is 7. But Adama Sanogo, the 2023 Final Four, like I guess you could call it MVP from UConn, undrafted. Oscar Tshiebwe, Player of the Year in 2022, undrafted. Drew Timme, the 38-year-old Drew Timme, he was, first team All-American, led how many times did he play in such big games and put up outrageous statistics? Undrafted.
I think the one that
it's kind of like to me it's sad, but it's also to me just another reason for guys of their caliber who can dominate the collegiate game, stay in college, build your persona up as much as you can, and make as much NIL money as you can, because you're not going to get a shot in the NBA. So it's the first thing.
I think those three guys not being drafted, it goes to show you. And to be honest, I was surprised that Tshiebwe didn't get drafted.
That's
I think he is. I could think he could do pretty well in the NBA. I think he's physical enough. I think he has the build. He's got the tenacity, but I think what it goes to show with those three guys not getting drafted is how much a perimeter game is important now in the NBA.
Yes, exactly. And Trey, I agree with you because can I make a comparison with Tshiebwe, because Trey, you said big man, right? In college basketball, he's 6'8", 230. Okay.
Wow.
That's big for college basketball. It is. Yeah. Okay, and when you think about that, because I think he's listed as a center, right?
Yeah.
So my comparison to him is Zion Williamson, who was a top pick a couple years ago. Okay, in terms of height wise, right? Is if you really look at their size in terms of again, Zion. Okay, here you go. Zion was actually 6'6".
6'7".
Okay. Regardless, he's still smaller than Tshiebwe, right? And Zion's a power forward.
Okay? Yeah, but Tshiebwe doesn't have the dribble game. He doesn't have any perimeter game.
Do you think Zion has a perimeter game though?
Yeah,
it's better. It's better than Tshiebwe. Zion's shooting threes.
Zion's also 272. So.
Zion can also take someone off the dribble and like.
I
don't know. I mean,
Tyler, you're gonna see Zion stay healthy, and you're gonna see what Zion Williamson is gonna do in the NBA. I'm telling you, it's coming up, because here's the thing.
Who's the other Duke guy from the Bucks that never was a big bust?
You're thinking Jabari Parker.
Oh, wow.
He tore his ACL 3 different times.
Well, still a bust. You didn't succeed. So
can I? Okay, I get that. Health, yes. But I'm going to just say this: is Zion Williamson played in as many games, if not more games, in his however many years he's in the NCAA as Joel Embiid. So be patient. Be patient.
Did he really?
Okay. Because
Yes,
can I
be
tell you who's
patient.
played in more NBA games?
I don't believe that.
Can I tell you who's played in more NBA games than Zion Williamson did? Tyler Hansbrough.
Yeah.
And Cody Zeller.
I'm just saying. I mean, show me something. Show me something.
Trey, the Zeller you're seeing play is from Indiana.
Oh my gosh.
He didn't play. It's not the Carolina one. But I will say this: I think Sheboy out rebounds Wembanyama if they're in there together.
Dude, I don't think that Wembanyama guy had a good comment by like not bulking up. I think that was a very dumb ass comment.
Yeah. Oh, he is playing tomorrow, by the way, guys, in the summer league. He is playing.
I think I just made us explicit because I said a bad word.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, whatever.
All right.
Pissed me
so
off,
that's one thing that jumped out to me this week was that. Second thing second thing I'm going to say is a little personal, and I'm just going to make the statement as move the hell on. Okay, Derek Carr. I'm sick of it now. I love Derek Carr. I love what he did for the Raiders organization. I can't take away anything that he did statistically. But in the end, guys, it was always the same thing. We finished with a mediocre 500 record. 2 times he had us get into the playoffs. One time he broke his ankle on Christmas Eve night. I remember Trey running up the stairs and telling me that at dinner. The other time we had the most disastrous season ever where all of our guys were getting locked up and thrown in jail for doing stupid things.
Isn't that every season?
Yeah, all right. Head coach got fired, who's a legend of the game. But I'm just so sick of his comments now because it's all 20/20 hindsight. You know, it's like, just shut up, move on. Stop saying that the Raiders made your wife cry. Stop saying that was the last straw.
It's the end of Derek Carr and the Raiders.
I was not too sure what the heck I was hearing in my ears there.
I thought we were getting another ad.
No, it's some sad music. No, it's sad music.
That was pretty not sad. But you should have played like Hello, Darkness, my old friend.
Yeah.
Come on.
Well, I don't want to get copyright flagged.
So anyway, his quote was, "I was mad. You spent 9 years in a place. I would have said, I don't even want the money. I just to play 2 more games in front of our fans. I didn't get that opportunity." Listen, move on, man. Like, just say I'm committed to my current team. We moved on as a Raiders organization, so please. There's no hard feelings, but there's no need to try to make some sort of dramatic thing out of it. I think he's just trying to get headlines at this point. And like I said,
do you think they actually did move on, though, Trent?
The Raiders themselves?
Yeah, like, why does it keep coming up then?
It's Derek Carr.
You think
it's not the Raiders?
But you don't think that people keep asking questions, though?
Not the Raiders, Ty. It's Derek Carr speaking on his final days in Vegas. Derek Carr speaking about his time in Vegas. Like, it's not the Raiders. The Raiders aren't out there saying about Derek Carr. It's Derek Carr talking about the Raiders. So
and probably Raiders journalists. That's my point. Is they're trying to keep
it's New Orleans journalist, Tyler.
All right. Well,
the person that asked him the question was an ESPN journalist. Okay, so it's the Raiders have moved on. I mean, we moved on from him when we benched him and essentially said, "Don't even come to the team facility." That's called moving on, buddy.
I will say this, Trent.
We're done.
I will say this. Hey, you ready? You ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
Your new quarterback, possibly, maybe.
Oh, here we go.
Maybe. All right. This is a Raiders tweet from about Jimmy Garoppolo, ranked first last year in NFL QB in terms of what's called DVOA at 30.4%, which represents the value over league average of player contributes. All right. 8th in DYAR, QB value to backups, and 7th in YAR, value adjusted to opponents. So, 1st, 8th, and 7th, just for reference points, Derek Carr last
Can we
year.
just
Hold on.
can we
Wait.
just say these
Hold on.
acronyms that you're giving? I've never even heard
Okay,
of.
just for reference though,
God.
Derek Carr ranked 17th, 18th, and 22nd. All right, that's at Coon Tristan. All right,
Trent.
thank you at Coon Tristan
Okay,
for those.
so and this is
Trent,
what I'm
Tyler,
saying.
Tyler made up
moved
those
on.
stats to support his Jimmy Garoppolo love.
Kind of, but it was also a great segue for that.
Yeah. Also, remember, Tyler, the defense that Jimmy Garoppolo had on the other side.
No, I know. I'm not
Right?
disagreeing with that.
Okay, it was the top defense in football.
I know.
I mean, that's one thing where I'll give Derek Carr some credit, is I do think he would have won more games.
Yeah.
I think he would have won more games than Jimmy G did with the Niners defense.
Yeah.
In San Fran.
Yeah. Go.
Trent, I completely agree with that. I think if you have really a handful of quarterbacks in San Fran other than Jimmy Garoppolo, they actually have two more Super Bowls under their belt. So that's what I have to say about that.
Unbelievable comment.
All right. So listen, I'm moved on from Derek Carr. Had to get that off my chest. Sick of seeing the headlines. Last thing I'm going to talk about right now, boys, I'm going to make this statement. We are, in present day, seeing the best modern-day baseball player in our generation.
Oh, Trent.
Dude, I feel like that was all of our comments tonight.
Can I say something?
Shohei Ohtani is the guy. Like, I'm on the bandwagon. He needs to get the hell out of LA.
Does he though?
Yes. That's my thought.
To Boston or where?
No.
I'd
bet my bottom dollar on that.
Listen,
you bet your Boston dollar on that?
Listen, can I just rattle something off here for you?
I know Trey talked about him going to the Red Sox for a while.
Oh, yeah.
I believe it's 29 home runs now. I think he hit one tonight again.
He's got 14 in June.
I think he's got 66, I believe, RBIs. He's extra base hits 47. Slugging percentage is 654. All of these are first in baseball. Okay, pitching wise, he's got the lowest hits per 9 innings. He's got the most strikeouts in the AL per 9 innings. He's second in strikeouts in the AL overall. And then his ERA is a 3.02. But, I mean, guys, we are seeing the most freakish baseball player right now in our generation play. I'm giving it to him.
Okay, and that kind of leads into our bet bail and backing too, because he was a topic of conversation I was going to bring up at some point in time. So I guess.
Oh, me as well.
Let's. Do you want to start with the bet then? Because what do you love right now?
Well, he was actually going to be my backing.
Okay.
Him and the Angels, because I mean, like Trent said, all those stats are just absurd. He hit 14 home runs in the month of June.
Yeah.
So let's say they roughly play 20 out of 30 days in June. He always hit a home run every game. Mm-hmm. That's insane.
Yeah.
He's I also read a stat
right now too.
What's that?
He's on a 6-game hit streak, and he has 13 hits his last 6 games.
Yeah, I read he was the first player to have 4 hits, 2 RBIs, and 10 strikeouts since I don't even know his name, since a pitcher from the 1890s.
Yeah. The Babe Ruth?
No, it wasn't Babe Ruth. Yeah.
The
it was like
Great
Tom
Bambino.
I think it was like Tom Seville or something weird like that. But
so that's
not Tom Selleck. Not Tom Selleck.
No, not Tom Selleck.
Great trade. Tom Selleck, great lip saddles.
Dude, I was just gonna say Tom Selleck has a great lip saddle.
Is he Hawaii 5-0?
Dude, just Google him. # lip saddles.
Is he the Hawaii 5-0 guy? Because he's got a hell of a lip saddle too.
I can't wait till that becomes such a trend. I gotta put lip saddles on T-shirts, dude.
We're getting Trey. I'm gonna have the T-shirt that says # recency bias. Trey is # lip saddles.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
We gotta think of what Tyler is.
Tyler is totalitarian.
Yes.
Totalitarian.
You can call me # Buzz Williams.
that too.
Buzz Williams.
Or Applebee's shrimp. No, so that does lead us into baseball. So I'll be honest with you, my love here, my bet is Ohtani because, which was actually the perfect segment. It's funny because Trey groaned, I groaned. We're like, oh man, this is exactly what I was. Yeah,
I know. Yeah. Sorry,
the dude's a beast. Though. I mean, right now he's on a current streak of 6 games, hit streak. He has 7 runs. He has 8 runs, 13 hits, 4 home runs, 6 RBIs, 2 walks, only 7 strikeouts, and his slugging percentage, which Trent, I think you brought up, is 1.111.
Wow. Wait. Wow.
Yeah.
Pitching wise.
No. His batting
his slugging percentage.
Which,
oh wow.
Yeah. Right now on his hit streak right now is 1.111, which is nuts.
Oh.
And that doesn't include his pitching,
nuts.
which is incredible because he's a tough guy to find pitching stats for, at least on the resources I look at. Because it's like, because he's a pitcher, they don't really show your pitching stats all the time.
I gave his stats.
No, I know you did, but I'm like his K props and everything right now. He's so tough to cap because it's like, all right, he's gonna be hitting like it. I'm surprised that I don't bet on him more. I guess is the biggest thing I can take away from that. Just because he does get 8 strikeouts, 9 strikeouts, 10 strikeouts. It's like, and that was actually going to be one of my booming topic questions, but I was like, I'll just save it for kind of a discussion piece. Do you think? I mean, is he the best player in baseball to play?
Too early.
Okay.
I'm saying at least I think he is going to be in our generation.
Okay. I think that's fair enough. So my bet is, what I love right now is Ohtani. Period.
Okay.
That's where I'm at.
Yeah.
Where are you guys at bet wise?
I mean, Trey, you gave yours, correct?
No, I did not.
Oh, go ahead, Trey. I thought you were.
I mean, it's the same as last week. Well, no, Ohtani's who I'm backing. I like to skip around, I know, but
we'll get into that when we get into backing. You can mention them again, but yeah.
Yeah. But no, my betting right now is something I mentioned I was going to start, and I finally did, and it's actually working for me. I'm out of the darkness and I see light at the end of the tunnel. And that's
got Aaron Rodgers over there.
Yeah, right.
He's out of the darkness.
Change your diaper, shroom juice.
Jeez.
What'd you call him? Stew juice?
Shroom juice, like
shroom
ayahuasca.
Juice. I thought you said stew juice. I'm like, that's gross.
No, but what I'm betting is my walk props. I found a little system. I found a number of statistics that I like to average out and use to analyze the numbers and the lines, and I'm onto something. I definitely am. Right now, I've bet 36 bets using the system, and 33 bets, and I'm 19 and 14, hitting 58%. So, granted, the odds are a little juiced, but a win's a win. You know what I mean? So, I'll take it.
And you could always take those two, parlay them with something. If you
exactly.
guarantee parlay.
Well, and that's what I was going to say is whenever we post our daily recipes, I don't know what you guys do, but I make single bets and then I like to parlay them as well, all three together.
Sure.
And those are parlay bets, adding that minus 180 leg, minus 150 leg or whatever. It's a secure bet, but it also adds to the juice. So, I mean, yeah.
I think that goes back to what we had talked about before. Like, I know initially, I think a couple episodes ago, we talked about minus 170 was kind of like where we stop. But like with the walk props, I know, we all talked about minus 180 is kind of where we're, kind of setting it at just in terms of the prop bets with stuff. So
right.
Minus 170, minus 180, sometime between there is really kind of where we're capping things in terms of the biggest juice. But
right.
if you're somebody looking to get more money out of things, put it with a guarantee. If
right.
you take a minus, 195 money line that you feel very confident with, put that with your minus 180 walk bet. I mean, you're probably going to get plus odds. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
and I'll just say this, depending on what you do unit wise, like we typically we typically stick with our same amount of units or same level of units for the most part. So like we try to keep it at the 180 mainly for people that are following and tailing us, because I mean, some people you do see that they'll place large bets on things that are in the minus 200s, and they can profit some really good money. But we're not saying we're high rolling like that. You know, we're not betting a paycheck on our recipe. But
we're keeping our recipe free for everybody too. So it's like have fun with it.
I'm gonna kind of go ahead, guys. Can I just like kind of give my bet and bail back to back for you guys? Is something for all of us, but also our listeners who do like to wager on baseball. So I'm going to go with the current most profitable MLB pitchers. 5, okay? Most profitable. And this would be if your units were $100 wager, they are seeing the most return on that this season. So starting at number 5, working our way to number 1, Wade Miley.
Interesting.
For the Brewers. Number 4, Tommy Henry for the Diamondbacks. Matt Boyd for the Detroit Tigers. All right, number 2, this guy's on the bump tomorrow, so I will be wagering on him. Dean Kramer for the Orioles. And Braxton Garrett for the Marlins.
Most profitable pitchers.
Those are the most profitable pitchers if you're placing on the straight-up money line with them pitching. I will say the Marlins are a team to keep an eye on, boys. They just sorry. They are.
You okay, Trey?
Well.
No, I'm a little angry because Mr. I'm going to do betting and bailing decided to do backing as well.
No, that was not my back. Next thing I'm going to give you, this is for bailing. So these are the most profitable pitchers to fade. So the first list I gave you was if you see that pitcher pitching, bet on that team to win. This list of pitchers, if you see a team playing against this pitcher, bet against them. Did I say that clearly, guys?
I bet you I can bet number 1.
Okay, so I'm going to start at number 5 and work my way up to number 1. Number 5, pitcher to fade. So this is my bail. Steven Matz for the Cardinals.
Okay.
Number 4, Jameson. Excuse the pronunciation. Tyon. Jameson Tyon for the Cubs. Clark Schmidt at number 3 for the Yankees. One of Tyler's guys at number 2, Jordan Lyles for the Royals.
He's number 2.
And then, to get this, is Jordan Montgomery is number 1 for the Cardinals.
And it's wild because remember the other day we bet against Jordan Montgomery and he won.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So that was my bet and my bail. Go ahead. Let's do some backing. Somebody.
Well, Trey, I'll let you. Why don't you go? So you did bet and bail. So I'm Trey. I'll let you bail quick.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, bail, guys. Sorry. Don't back.
Shoot. My bail is on a team that is just got to be one of the most disappointing in the history of the MLB, and that is the New York Mets. It's actually kind of hard to I know we bring it up. We're beating a dead horse when we talk about this and stuff, but it's really kind of hard to comprehend how disappointing this season really is for them. They have the highest payroll in baseball. They had so much hype. If you look at their roster, they should be so successful, and they are god awful. They find ways to lose that I didn't even think were possible. And he's like an internet sensation, Mets fan, Frank the Tank from Barstool. I mean, he gets a lot of flack for how he talks about them and his negativity, but it's justified in my eyes. It truly. They constantly let them down. They let down their fans as a franchise. It's very disappointing as a whole. And I am avoiding the Mets like the plague.
So my bail, because Trey, I'm on the team as well. I have not been able to figure out the Mets because, especially with who the hell they pay, like, dude, that pisses me off about the Mets. Yeah. It's like, what the hell are you doing?
They're definitely more disappointing than the Padres for sure. I'd say.
I mean, yeah, they're pretty close. Padres are pretty close because I am bailing on the Pirates right now.
Okay.
Pirates have won 4 of the last 15. 4. All right. Now, when you mentioned Padres, they actually did win. They actually shut out the Padres 3-0 in their series. Frustratingly enough, Mitch Keller didn't do shit for us yesterday. But that's
it was a hook tie.
Time for a different tale, but yeah, no, I saw it coming the whole way. Like he's getting tough to cap in terms of strikeouts, so I'm gonna start looking at him a little bit more with his first 5 stuff, which can be a little bit tough as well because he does give up hits, So it's a little bit tough, but I'm bailing on the Pirates in terms of just anything winning. I know they're on a 3-game win streak against the Padres. They got the Brewers up next starting tomorrow, so we'll see what they can do. But, yeah, the Pirates are I'm bailing. But that's where I'm at. So that takes us into backing, I'm sorry. And I think we can all get into backing with this.
Oh, boy.
Sorry, that's a recreation, so there's no copyright violation.
I was gonna say, yeah.
Recreation on. Yep, we're good. No copyright violation. Somebody recreated it. We're good.
All right.
Shout out.
Well, I can.
No, I'll start. I'll start us off here, Trent.
Trey's gonna start us. Sorry.
Yeah, because I know Mister get the first word out likes to steal my my little thoughts here.
Who's your NHL MVP?
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Trent, go quickly.
I'll never forget that. No.
Guess who won that?
Yeah.
Wow.
No, my backing is. I mean, we kind of talked about him a lot, but it was Ohtani. I was going to mention him, bring him up, and how amazing he's been lately. But my true backing has been the Miami Marlins. They look like a force to be reckoned with. They are 19-6 in their last 25 games. They have a pitching staff that looks even better than it did last year, which is hard to imagine since they got rid of Pablo Lopez. But they have I believe he's 20 years old, Yuri Perez.
Yeah.
He's in his last 5 starts, he looks unhittable. And if he keeps that up, they have an absolute ace for decades, or a little less than 2 decades.
Decades.
Yeah. He's never going to retire.
Ever. Maybe even a century, everyone.
Right. But then they have Sandy Alcantara, who actually has not been pitching up to his abilities.
Not at all.
So that's kind of scary considering. Then they have Trent. You brought it up, Braxton Garrett, who is one of the most profitable pitcher to bet on this year. Which, I mean, he's been lights out. And then they have someone they just acquired in a trade, batting almost 400. The second baseman, Luis Arez, who is just a hitting machine. He gets on base like 3 or 4 times a game. You got Gene Segura, the old Yankee, Cooper, the young first baseman, and they have a couple other guys I'm trying to think of. Oh, Jorge Soler has 21 homers already this year. I mean, they just, as a whole, they're just firing on all cylinders, and it's fun to watch. Derek Jeter is, dare I say it, proving himself to be a successful, general? I think he's an owner, actually, right?
Is he still though?
He's gone.
I think he sold a year or 2 ago.
No.
He's gone.
No. Are you guys?
Guy.
Oh no.
Look at old newsman over here.
Tyler, cue the.
Oh God, he did leave the Miami. Oh God.
Yeah.
What was he though? Was he a GM? No, he was the CEO.
I think he owned them.
CEO.
No, I'm pretty sure he owned part of them.
Oh wow, guys.
Yeah, he's been gone. It's been about
No, it's been a year. It's been a year.
Not 2 years. You sure?
Nope, it was May 11th, 2022. Oh man, Jeter resigned as Miami CEO. Well, okay. Let me rewind a little bit. I give him credit. I give him credit for their success because I mean,
give
a
Derek
year
Jeter
out.
credit. No, that dude has so much credit for everything else. Don't give Derek Jeter.
Nope, I am giving him credit because they were a disappointment when he was there, and I was a hater. I said he was bad.
Okay, so if they were a disappointment when he was there, then he's the disappointment.
But he only left.
Great since he left.
He left a year ago. You're telling me that the moves he made while he was there doesn't contribute to their success now at all?
Probably not.
Oh, come on.
Play for the Yankees.
Derek Jeter, shout out. Great CEO for the Miami Marlins. They wouldn't be where they are without him. I stand by that.
No, I'm not giving him a shout out. That's stupid. That's dumb.
Oh, Jazz Chisholm was the other guy I wanted to mention from them. Young second.
Jizzle.
No.
What did you say? No, I'm asking. What did you say, Trey?
Jazz Chisholm.
Jazz Jizzle. No?
Oh, man.
Oh.
But anyway, yep. Okay. Shout out Derek Jeter. Thank you for the Miami Marlins and their success.
And Jazz Jizzle.
Yeah.
Is that how you say his name?
His name is Chisholm.
With a ch, like a ch,
yeah. CH. It's easy to mix up because his first name is Jazz.
Jazz.
Okay.
Jazz Chiz.
Yeah.
Chiz Jazzle. This is fun. Lip saddles, right? Hashtag.
Well, that's right. All right. Spencer Strider, baby.
Yep, dude.
Yep. So I'm
backing.
I'm backing once again the Miami Marlins and Derek Jeter
and Jazz Chisholm.
Yep.
Or Chaz Jizzle, whatever you want. whatever you want to play with.
I got a couple things I'm backing here.
Oh, a couple backers.
And I'm gonna actually keep it in the same. I guess you'd call it division there, Trey. Right? The NL
East.
East, right? Those are my other two backings. So that's what's interesting is because we talk a lot about the AL East because of being Orioles fans, but we're gonna go NL East, and I'm gonna go with the freaking Braves, man. The month of June, 20-4.
Dude, yep.
20-4 in the month of June. So
5-game win streak right now.
Yeah, it's nuts. They're, I believe, actually in their last let me pull it up here. Last 10, they're 9-1, but 20-4 in the month. 20-4 in the month of June. They are trying to run away with it. I think they are running away with it. Those Marlins are going to have to get a wild card spot. The Phillies are going to have to get a wild card spot. So my other backing actually goes to a team that I usually completely bail on, and that is the Phillies. The Phillies. Yes, I know. Don't hold your breath. But
hold on, you're backing the whole Phillies, or?
Well, I am to a degree. I mean, right now, I believe in their last 10, I believe they're on a 4-game win streak right now. 2, in their last 10 games, they're 7-3. But one of the major reasons that I'm backing the Phillies is this individual personally, and that's Taijuan Walker.
I thought it was
former pitcher.
Taijuan
Walker, sorry. Former pitcher that Tyler used to do a lot of K-props on, I think, back in the day.
He was with the Mets, right?
Yeah, this is his first year with the Phillies. But he is currently he's 5-0 in his last start because he just got a win tonight. He has an ERA of .69.
Boom.
And I believe in these starts he's actually only given up. His last 5 starts, he's only given up 3 total earned runs. So, Taijuan Walker,
yep,
and partially the Phillies, but they are they're doing well. So those are my backings.
That's
the Phillies. I was backing the Phillies last week, and I'm still backing them. because I think that
they're actually right now overall in terms of teams, they're actually 12th.
Wow.
So they made like a weird ass run. They're actually 43-37, and it goes back to and it goes back to Trey's point. Like, remember last year, like the Phillies made a late run. They're making a late run.
Wow.
It's going into All-Star break here in a couple weeks. So,
can I just say that they have a top 3 payroll?
Yeah.
Right. And if you look at every first place team in the MLB, Braves, they're 8th in payroll.
Yeah.
Rangers, they're 9th in payroll. Twins, they're 17th in payroll. Diamondbacks, 21st in payroll. Reds, 25th. And get this one, guys.
Yeah,
Tampa
the Orioles.
Bay Rays. No, this is all the first place teams. Tampa Bay Rays, 28th.
The Orioles are they got to be like one of the bottom 3.
And what?
Trey, I'm naming all the first place teams in each division.
I know, but I'm saying the Orioles are the 3rd best team in the MLB in terms of record.
Right.
And I think they have the 3rd lowest payroll.
I wouldn't doubt it. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I do have this stat for you guys here about the Orioles real quick. The Orioles are the most profitable money line team for $100 better since Adley Rutschman debuted for the Orioles on May 21st, 2022. If you bet $100 on the Orioles payroll from that time on, you are up $3,890. So
wow.
I like to give our listeners that do wager out there a couple statistics. So Tyler, give us your backing and let's bring us home, big man.
All right, so I'm backing fading the Royals pitchers. That's what I'm backing. I'm backing fade Zach Greinke, K-props specifically, and I'm also backing fading Jordan Lyles K-props as well. So those are my 2 guys that I'm fading against. I know the Royals are struggling right now, and watching those 2 pitchers, Greinke today, it was actually tough to find a bet on him. One sports book, I think it was DraftKings, had him at 2.5 strikeouts, which actually really pissed me off because I was expecting at least a 4.5, and I couldn't find him actually as a K-prop anywhere else. And he ended up getting 0 Ks. So through 6 innings, that is, which was nuts. But yeah, I am backing going against the K-props of Greinke and Lyles for the Royals. So just be aware because it's only a matter of time before they get sent to the minors.
Greinke won't get sent to the minors.
Trent and Trey, if you guys saw, it was Alek Manoah from the Blue Jays.
I feel bad for him.
Dude, he went down. And
I know. 11 earned runs.
11 earned runs in like 3 innings.
2.
I think it was like 2.2 or something, but like 11 earned runs. And I mean, I go back to like the fact that it's like, hey, my fade pitchers, like usually, a couple weeks ago it was fade Lyles, and Lyles has been fading, and before that it was Bumgarner from the Diamondbacks, and he hasn't been back. So it's like, not saying that we're putting anything out there, but fade him. So fade Greinke, fade Lyles. I'll be putting those K-props out there for those 2 pitchers. As long as I can get them, just keep an eye out. So that's where I'm at. But you guys good? Anything else to say MLB wise?
No, I'm just really proud of Derek Jeter.
Gotta bring that back up.
Wow. You could have let it go like in Fade in the Sunset, like it didn't exist, but you brought it back up yourself.
I'm doubling down on my.
Well, you can't double down when things don't exist.
Well, I'm still giving him credit. He's a year out of CEO-ship.
He dropped out because he sucked as CEO.
Yeah.
He was a great shortstop. Great shortstop.
See, I think he's overrated as a shortstop.
He just got married, dude.
Wow, did he really?
I'm pretty sure he just got married.
He's been married for a couple of years now.
Somebody else said. Somebody else got married. It reminds me of Derek Jeter. I don't know.
Let's not touch Derek Jeter anymore. We're just these Jeter takes. All right, hey guys.
Allegedly, he just got married.
Time. I appreciate you and all your intake. Tyler, get us out of here.
All right, hey. BearderBakerBrothers.com. I'm not going to tell you how many W's are in that. Check it out. But yeah, Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts. Appreciate all the listeners. Have a great week. Hey, next week, we're probably looking at 2 of us. All right, we're probably looking at 2 of us.
Yeah,
me and Trey.
Sorry, guys.
Trent's going on vacation, so yeah, Trent's going on vacation, so
Ooh.
a 2-person podcast with Trey and I next week. But we'll bring it to you because we got a big UFC card coming up.
Oh, do we?
Oh yeah, hell yeah, man. So
I can't
it's gonna
wait.
be a good one. So we gotta get UFC stuff. We'll get Trent's input there. We'll plug his input in.
I'm calling in the hotel. I'm calling
Dude.
in.
Yeah.
You're more than welcome, man. So you let us know.
All right.
But, all right. Appreciate it, everybody. BearderBakerBrothers.com. Have a great weekend.
Hey, take it easy, guys.